I wanted to talk for a second about focal length, and I wanted to introduce the topic by taking a look at the camera that I'm using to make most of the videos that you're seeing. This is called a digital SLR, and it is, I'm going to take the lens off right here. Inside of the camera, you see the reflection of it. You see a little lens. Let me move the light a little bit. You see a little mirror, actually. You see it? And if I move it up, like you can see I move it up, that lens right there is the lens that is referenced in the name SLR, single lens reflex. That's the single mirror that will flip up and allow the light to go through this end of the lens and then, well, through this end of the lens and then out this end. And then the sensor, the digital image sensor, is behind the lens. So why am I bringing this up? It's because this particular lens allows for what's called optical zoom. Optical zoom, you can look at the lens actually. I'm going to go like this. Right. If I set it right here, it's set to 24 millimeters. Now if I go all the way out, I'm at 105 millimeters. And if you could look through my zoom or my viewfinder, this is called the viewfinder. Actually, I could probably turn it on and show you. If yeah, well you can see right there a little image. This is the image of my desk at 24 millimeters, and then I'm going to zoom in, and that's the image at 105 millimeters. So that's called optical zoom. Optical zoom, it's very complicated, but it has to do with how this lens was made. iPhones do not have optical zoom. They only can do what's called digital zoom, and that is that's completely different. In fact, that's we've already cropped images in this class. I've showed you how to crop. In fact, a digital zoom is really no different than cropping an image. So you're basically just selecting a smaller portion, and it seems like you're getting closer when you pinch or pull on your iPhone screen, and it seems like you're zooming in. Notice carefully, you're losing resolution. It looks grainier, it looks fuzzier. With an optical zoom like this, when you zoom in, you're losing no pixels. You have full resolution. So that's a little bit one of the downsides to iPhones, is that it's called a fixed focal length. And that focal length on the iPhone is right about at 35 millimeters. So you can see on my camera here, it shows these numbers here tell you how many millimeters the lens is at, the zoom is at. So right here would be about 35, and this is 105, and we're down to 24 here. iPhones are about at 35, could be 36, or something like that. So they're fixed focal length. And you know, you can, with SLR cameras, you can get a fixed focal length lens. This is a zoom lens, but you can get a fixed focal length lens. In fact, some photographers prefer to have a fixed focal length lens. In fact, one of the lenses that I've been wanting for a long time is just a 35 millimeter lens that doesn't zoom, because people think that they actually take better photographs. There's less going on in the lens itself. It's a more simple, the light passes through in a more simple way, and it kind of increases the clarity of the image. But that, I just wanted to show you the camera that I normally use to make these videos. You might notice a difference actually between the iPhone video and the videos that I normally show, especially if you're watching the videos in the highest resolution that you can. And you can actually adjust the resolution on the YouTube video if you don't know how. There's like a little gear in the bottom right hand corner of the video, and it should allow you to make an adjustment, increasing the quality. Now the one thing that you can do with a fixed focal length lens is just to get closer to the object that you're taking a photograph of. And that has a pretty similar effect to zooming. So as far as getting close to the object you're taking a picture of, I have a ruler here and I'm going to try to get as close as I can to this dollar bill and until it's able to focus. And you can tell if it's not able to focus, it just kind of continues to struggle to find. And it looks like it's focusing there, and I'm gonna take my ruler a little bit more than 2 inches away, and it's able to focus. Now there's a device that I bought a while back. I don't know how to pronounce the name of it. Olloclip, O-L-L-O-C-L-I-P. I'm gonna show you what this does. It's a pretty neat little gadget. There are all kinds of third-party accessories that you can buy for your iPhone's camera. This is just one of them. This has actually 3 different lenses. I'll show you the different features at a different time, but there's one lens here. It's called a fisheye. And then here's a different wide-angle lens. And if you turn and take this one off, and then put it on your iPhone's camera like so, you end up getting a, it's called a macro. And look how close I can get here. I can take a photograph of that. I mean, that's like you can almost see the grain in the paper. I'll go on his face and really. So, pretty cool little device. It cost something like $50 or something, but it might be worth it for a fun experiment. And now look, I've got a really close-up picture. So it's worth exploring. O-L-L-O-C-L-I-P. That'll help you to get closer if you want to take what are called macro. Macro spelled M-A-C-R-O pictures. But even if you don't want to take macro pictures, if you're out taking photographs in nature or something, and say you want to get a picture of a tree or something, then instead of zooming in like by pinching, just walk up closer toward it. And that has a very similar effect to what optical zooms do on regular cameras. Or on, not regular, but like the digital SLR that I showed you before.